Okay, it's a wee bit dusty. I really should dust that more. My gosh, it's not good. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Abby and I make productivity and corporate lifestyle videos. And today, as it is the start of September, I thought I would come back with another study tip video and talk to you about a study tip that literally changed my life. So I studied at Cambridge for 4 years. I studied chemical engineering, and this one study tip literally took me from failing exams at the start of my degree to graduating with 80% in my master's thesis. Okay, it's a wee bit dusty. I really should dust that more. My gosh. Not good. But yeah, basically this is just proof that what I'm about to talk about really did help. I have made a video before, and I will link it on the screen now, on how I managed to dramatically improve my grade throughout university. And what we concluded from this video was that working less can increase the amount of active learning you're able to do and also increase your chances of entering a state of deep work. But in this video today, we're going to dive deeper into what I really mean by working less and how you can implement it into your work to make you perform better. So let's start off with what the problem is that we are actually trying to solve by working less. And this problem is caused by the toxic attitude towards studying that's just created by academic environments, YouTube, social media, just by this perfect idea of studying that is created that, by the way, does not exist. There is no such thing as perfect studying. Let's just get that out there in the open nice and early. So the toxic attitude towards studying is an issue because it creates mental exhaustion. And I'm going to give you 3 scenarios, and it's very likely that you'll slot into one of these, and I'm going to explain to you why working less is going to change the way you study in a positive way. So let's talk about profile number 1. Okay, number 1 has a lot of work to do, but hates doing their work, does not want to study. They avoid all work. In all of this time that they're not doing any work and now maybe having fun or just chilling at home, the likelihood is that the entire time they are thinking about what work they should be doing. And although they are not working 24/7, they are experiencing this mental exhaustion of constantly knowing that they really should be working and they're just avoiding it. Profile number 2 is someone who also has work to do, doesn't really want to do it, but does take some time to get things done, spends a few hours every now and then, some days doesn't work, but does make an effort to get the work done. However, will put it off at any opportunity, will move it to the next day, will find new plans, will procrastinate massively, and while still getting the work done, anytime that they are not doing work, they are thinking, well, I probably should just be doing more work. And profile number 3 is someone who also has a lot of work to do and has decided, you know what, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to work really hard, but has taken it a little too far and is working ridiculously hard, working all the time, and really struggling to switch their mind off from work when they are not working, or feeling guilty that they should be working even more just so that they can perform as best as possible, but still, despite all of this, is not getting the grades that they want. Each 3 are unlikely to be getting the grades they want, because if they were getting the grades they wanted, then obviously whatever they're doing is working for them and they're probably not too stressed. But if you fit into one of these 3 profiles or anywhere in between them, then this video is for you. Now, I was the 3rd profile, and I worked out that the thing that was holding me back was the mental exhaustion, where I just physically could not switch my mind off from work. I constantly felt like I should be doing more, and no matter how much I was doing, I was still not getting the grades I wanted. When I managed to fix this issue, I got the highest grades that I had gotten in university. And so let's talk about how I did that. Right, we're going to do a 4-step method on how to implement working less to get the grades that you want. So step 1 is that you need to set realistic expectations of yourself and your workload. And this is where you need to be so real with yourself and actually acknowledge how much can you actually do. Let's not be silly here. Look at your lifestyle, look at your attention span, look at how much you actually even need to do, and then work out how much you can realistically do. If you know you are the type of person that cannot concentrate for 10 hours a day, do not expect yourself to achieve 10 hours of solid work in a day. If you know that you will not study every single evening after lectures, then do not set that for yourself, because all you're going to do is just let yourself down continuously. Now, I'm not saying be lazy with yourself and just be like, oh, can't be bothered, won't do it, not gonna bother. But what I'm saying is, do not set yourself things that you just know that you cannot achieve, and do not set yourself things that you don't need to achieve. What grade do you actually want, and how much do you actually need to do to get there? Don't overwork yourself for absolutely no reason. And when I say overwork, I don't mean working 24 hours a day. I mean, say that you're profile number 1 and you do absolutely no work. Don't set yourself, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. because let's be real, that's never gonna happen. Okay, let's look at profile number 2. Again, don't set yourself, I'm gonna work every day, all day. Be real with what you're capable of, and then set your realistic expectations from there. And if you set your expectations slightly lower and you start doing this work and you start getting better, you can always come back and be like, do you know what, I think I can do better than I'm aiming for. I'm gonna put some more hours in, I'm gonna make this work. But going in all guns blazing, thinking that you can do everything from day one after doing not very much, realistically it's not gonna happen. You're gonna feel demotivated, you're gonna give up, and you're gonna end up doing worse. Let's be so real with ourselves. Okay, and this brings us to step 2. We're being real with our expectations. Now let's be real with how long things actually take. Now this will get you, if you are trying to get on top of your studies and you are trying to plan your work and things like that, and you are not real with how long things actually take, you are just going to stress yourself out, mentally exhaust yourself, and constantly feel like you're not achieving. So for example, if you have said a task is going to take 3 hours and it's a really long task, but you're thinking, do you know what, I'm just going to work really hard in that 3 hours and get it done, and you get to the 3 hours, it ends up taking 4. Okay, you're an hour behind. Carry on with your day. You get to the next task of the day and it ends up taking 2 hours longer than you thought. You're now 3 hours behind. What are you going to do? Are you going to work late into the night and exhaust yourself to get that work done? Or are you going to skip plans to get that work done? What are you going to do? Because you said you needed to do that work on that day and you said it would take that long, but by not giving yourself enough time to successfully get the task done, all you have done is overwhelm yourself, make yourself feel like a failure when you're not, because you did the 3 hours of work, but you just didn't give yourself enough time to complete the task. And you need to just be so honest with yourself. Like, yes, it would be great if you could get that done in 3 hours. Who wouldn't want their work done as quick as possible? But will you actually be able to do it in 3 hours? And will you actually be able to use full brain power and think things through as much as you need to in that 3 hours? Or will you be rushing just to tick it off? Because again, that is not what you want to be doing. Give yourself the appropriate amount of time to get things done, and give yourself the appropriate amount of time to think things through properly and actually understand your work. It isn't a race. It isn't how much can I get done in a day. It's how much can I absorb and understand and take forward. Okay, step 3 is you need to schedule in actual enjoyment. Now, this is where the working less comes in. Okay, you know how much you actually need to do, you know how long it's actually going to take you, but just as important as these 2 things, you also need to know when you're going to be taking breaks, when you're going to be having time off, days off, activities, seeing friends, having fun, because this is one of the best ways to make your brain rest and avoid mental exhaustion. One way mental exhaustion will get you without you realizing is you'll take some time off or you'll procrastinate on a task, but the whole time you will be thinking about the work you need to do. And that will just be slowly breaking you down and mentally exhausting you, and overall reducing your productivity in your work hours. So if you schedule something that's actually enjoyable, that will actually take your mind off sitting at your desk, the work that you need to do, then when you get back to your work, when you get back to your desk, your brain is going to be ready to jump straight into active learning, straight into thinking things through really well. And a fun fact with this, if you do something that you're good at, just anything in life, do something you're good at, the next task that you do after that, the next activity you do after that, you will enter it with a higher chance of being good at it, because your self-confidence and self-belief will be raised from the task before. And so you will enter that task with the belief that, you know what, I probably can do this too, or at least I'm going to give it a go. So say you've got some work that you're going to schedule for later in the afternoon and you are going to take the morning off. If you did an activity in that morning that you were good at, say that you play an instrument, say you like running or going to the gym, maybe art, cooking, anything, literally anything that you think, yeah, I'm good at this, or yeah, this really makes me feel confident and alive. Doing that before you go into doing a difficult task will increase your chances of entering that task and performing well. Okay, now we've done these 3 steps, we're on to step 4, which is the big one. And this is where we really bring together steps 1, 2, and 3 and really implement this working less message. And that is scheduling your work and non-work time. Now we have set our realistic expectations, we have set our realistic timings for how long things are going to take to get done, and we have noted down and acknowledged things that we enjoy, things that we want to do, social plans we want to take part in. Now it's time to lay this all out and schedule it. Now, normally when you say the word schedule and somebody who doesn't really enjoy working or likes to avoid working or just gets very stressed about their work, the word schedule can ring alarm bells, it can make you stressed, and I completely hear that. But schedules should not be stressful if you're using them right. And obviously this is what I'm going to explain. Scheduling is like drawing out a map to where you want to be, drawing out how to get there, the stops on the way, And then I picture it as getting on the train, sitting back and just taking the ride through your map that you've already made and just arriving at your destination. Once this map is drawn, once you've put everything in place, you've just got to get on the train. You've just got to do it. You can sit back and relax knowing that you have put the plan in place to get to where you want to be. Now, obviously, you've got to make your schedule good, which is why you have to put time into making it, which is what I'm going to explain. But this is how scheduling actually takes away that mental exhaustion that you feel when you're doing random pieces of work, procrastinating, avoiding work to do other things. When you instead draw out this map, which by the way, we are going to include fun activities and time off. We don't make schedules that ruin your life over here. When you draw out this map and you get on board your train and you sit back, when you are doing fun activities, anything that isn't work related, you are sitting back and relaxing and thinking, I have got this time. I scheduled in this time for myself to not think about work. I know that I've made my schedule. It's going to get me to where I need to be. I don't need to think about anything else right now. And that constant feeling of, am I doing enough? Am I going to do well enough? What if I should be doing more? It's taken away from you. You see your friend that you sit next to in lectures doing some revision, and you used to think, oh gosh, maybe I should be working. Now you see it and you think, nope, that's scheduled in for Tuesday. I'll be doing that then. But right now, I'm relaxing. Right now, I'm out with friends. Scheduling is also such a good way to motivate you. Say this evening, I scheduled 2 hours of work and I really could not be bothered to do it. But tomorrow evening, I know that that's my night off. I don't do any work. Then that's going to really help me just get home and be like, do you know what? I'm just going to smash this 2 hours of work out, and then I'm going to really enjoy tomorrow. I'm going to make some really fun plans. I'm going to have a really relaxing evening in, and getting this work done today is going to make me feel even better tomorrow when I've got my time off. This is opposed to if you just said, oh, I should just work as many evenings as possible, and tonight say I could not be bothered to work and I know that I probably should work tomorrow night and the night after and the night after. I probably think, do you know what, I can't be bothered to work tonight, got to work tomorrow night anyway, and the one after, can't be bothered for any of this, I'm just going to sack it off tonight. And I spend the whole night feeling guilty, not working but feeling guilty about it because I should have worked, and I have to do it all over again tomorrow. And who knows, maybe I'll not bother doing it tomorrow because I still again feel so demotivated by the fact that I haven't given myself any time off and I'm working too much. And just to reiterate, this working too much isn't just for people that work ridiculous hours of the day. Telling yourself that you need to work all the time and not doing the work has the same effect. It has the same mental exhaustion effect. Telling yourself you need to do X, Y, and Z, not doing X, Y, and Z, and feeling guilty about it the whole time. So now I've convinced you that we should be making schedules. I am going to share some points on how to make an efficient schedule. And I would also like to reiterate that when I say making schedules, this does not mean your whole life needs to exist in some rigid format that follows this schedule. Schedules can be for the day, for the week, for the month, as long as you pinpoint a goal, work back, how much I need to do, what are my realistic timings, what activities and enjoyable things am I going to schedule into this. Work back. You don't have to schedule every hour of the day. It's more just, this is what I'm going to get done on that day. And the next day, I'm going to go and see that person that day, or I'm going to take 3 hours to myself that day. First point on making your schedule as useful as you can is making the schedule work for you. Now, this is again where you need to be so real with yourself. When do you work best? If you know that you work best in the mornings, then you should be scheduling your hardest tasks for the morning. If you know that you are a night owl and at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you sit at your desk and you can work solidly, you should be scheduling your hardest tasks for the evening. Make your schedule work around you. When it comes to things like studying and brain power, that is not generic. That is a personal thing. You really need to think about what works for you and put that into your schedule. Okay, next thing that I always do when I make a schedule is I make it flexi. Now, this doesn't mean I can just sack plans off whenever I want. I can just not do the work because, it's flexible. What it means is I literally schedule in blocks of free time. So I've been saying in this video, make plans with friends. You don't always make plans with friends weeks in advance. So I schedule in blocks. And what this means is, say, in 4 weeks' time, I'm following my schedule, and on Wednesday, I've got a 3-hour block. And this block is of no work. This is a free time block. This has got nothing to do in it. And my friend goes, Abby, on Friday, do you want to do this? And I'm like, I can't, sorry. I've actually got X, Y, and Z to do that I've planned to do on Friday. I need to get it done on that day because I'm busy on Saturday. Say that's my scenario. But I really, really want to go to plans with my friend on Friday. So all I do in this situation is I swap out blocks. So I will take Wednesday's free time block that I pre-scheduled, I don't have any plans in it, and I will swap it for Friday's block of work which means now I can go and see my friend on Friday and I will do that work block on Wednesday. And if I didn't end up having plans on Friday, then on that Wednesday, that 3 hours is free time. I can do what I want. I can chill. I can literally do whatever I want. And this is how I make my schedules flexy, because I don't have to sack off work or kind of throw myself off schedule, get all stressed and then get behind. I've actually made the schedule so that I can incorporate plans, I can move things around, and it doesn't put me behind. I stay on the map, I stay on the train, and I'm heading to the goal. And another point on making your schedule is, like I said, it does not need to map out your entire academic year or just your year in general. It can be shorter bursts than that. You can always revisit, you can always make a month or make a week or just make a day. Also with university, like, it's very common that you get assignments you didn't know you were gonna have, or you didn't know how long they would take, so you can't really schedule them until much later. So it can be quite difficult to schedule like many months in advance. So I would really just stick to a few weeks or a month, literally whatever works for you, as long as you are making them flexible, you're scheduling realistic work block hours and time for fun, then it should be fine. And now, what are the guidelines for using this type of schedule? So like I said, yes, make the schedule flexy, but also you need to be flexible. You know, this schedule doesn't determine your life, just as academia does not determine your life. But be flexible, be okay to swap things over, be okay if things don't go to plan. Say you run into a situation one evening when you scheduled a block of work, swap it out for your free time later in the week, okay? That's why we have a flexi schedule. And don't stress about it, because the mental exhaustion is going to have a greater impact on you than missing an hour or two of work. Who cares, okay? You are just gonna stress about it. You're not gonna think very well the next day. You're not gonna work very well. And actually, it's gonna be more detrimental. Next guideline for using this schedule is, if you go off schedule, it is not the end of the world. Go off schedule and then the next day, get right back on it. Do not think because you've gone off schedule once or because you've gone off schedule a few times, that's it, you're a failure, you're gonna fail all your exams, you can't do it. Because that's not the case. And like I said, the mental exhaustion and the stress that will bring will have a more detrimental effect than missing a few hours of studying. But alongside this, do show up, make your schedule and do show up to it, because the feeling of I show up for myself, that's a really great feeling of like confidence, self-worth, self-achievement. You know, I show up for myself, I do the work I told myself to do, I commit to my commitments, and now I'm going to enjoy my free time. So if you can make this schedule work for you by working less and scheduling fun times, free time, being flexible, but also showing up for yourself when you said that you would, being so realistic with how much work you can do and not scheduling yourself stupid amounts of work every day, the likelihood is that you might even start to enjoy it, because you're going to feel on top of everything, you're going to feel proud of yourself, and you're going to think, I've got it going on. If you want some more science-backed points to back up everything I have spoken about, do go and watch the video I mentioned at the start of this video. It is on my channel. It's called The Study Tip They're Not Telling You, How I Went From a 2-2 to 80%, and that talks all about why working less and entering a state of deep work and not overworking yourself is so important. Now let's quickly revisit our 3 profiles and see why this method and everything I've talked about will benefit them. So profile number 1, who basically avoids all work, spends most of their time feeling mentally exhausted and stressed about the work that they should be doing. Now if they created a flexi schedule that had realistic expectations and realistic timings, so you know, they're going from doing no work, they're probably not going to jump straight into 10-hour days, but they're going to schedule themselves 1 to 2 hours of work a day, which is an improvement. They're going to then also schedule themselves fun. And in this fun, they're not going to feel stressed, they're not going to feel guilty. Slowly that mental exhaustion is going to reduce and they're going to feel more motivated, more confident in their ability, and they may then start to increase their working hours. Let's take profile 2, who does a bit of work but procrastinates ridiculously. Well, with this flexi schedule, with realistic expectations and timings, profile number 2 is actually going to do the work on the time that they said they would. They're going to get it done and then they're going to go and enjoy the rest of their day because they scheduled in free time and they're following their map knowing that it will take them to where they need to be. This is instead of them procrastinating all day and then spending the whole evening working, being stressed and annoyed at themselves for wasting the day away. And profile 3, who works ridiculous amounts, never takes time off, and is still not getting where they want to be, is going to reduce those working hours, start putting breaks in, start putting fun in, and is actually going to find that they work a lot harder, a lot more efficiently, think a lot deeper, and can solve problems better in their working hours, and will hopefully then find that they can then get closer to the grades that they want. Now, that is literally the study tip that changed my life. Working less, implementing fun, being flexible, and acknowledging realistic expectations and realistic timings for the work I needed to do dramatically helped improve my grade at Cambridge. I really hope everything I've talked about made sense. You know, the map thing, it really does make sense. Get on the train, follow the map, get to where you want to be. But yeah, I hope the video was helpful, and if it was, please do let me know. Your support means so much to me on my channel, so if you did like the video, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.